When our youngest son was around 2 or 3 years old, if he was bored with his surroundings or whatever, he would just let us know that he wanted to go somewhere place else. He'd just stand up and say, I want to go somewhere place else right now. So we remembered that, and then about 17 years later, we told him that's where we're going to go. We decided to go somewhere place else like you always wanted to. Well, we started gardening immediately upon coming here, and then by chance we got into goats with a lady who lived a few miles from here, had to move, and she said, take these goats, I can't take them with me. So we took about 3 or 4 goats from her, and about a year later there's 55. And so we've stayed into that just from a standpoint of they're great lawnmowers, bush hogs, and take care of the fence rows and that kind of thing. I had a favorite fainting goat baby. I named him Robert E. We name our billy goats after Confederate generals. And he was about 8 months old and disappeared. And come to find out, a coyote got him. And so I said, that's it, we got to find some way to stop it. And so we had seen these big white dogs around here. We weren't familiar with the breed at first. And so everybody tells us, well, that's how you keep your goats from being attacked by the coyotes. So we went and got our first Great Pyrenees about 10 years ago, and haven't had any more coyote problems since. The fun part is the canning. That started about 3 years ago, I guess. We had been growing a lot of the food we were eating, and we were canning a lot of it. And friends and relatives were taking some of it home and coming back to us and saying, you know, you should sell this stuff. And so finally we decided to give it a try. And I guess, as they say, the rest is history. We started very small, and it was so well received we decided to do an all or nothing. So we went all the way into it head first, learning as we go, and to obtain the USDA certifications and everything required to be able to distribute it to the public. Well, of course, we have to, whatever we plant in the garden, we're using that in the canning operation somehow. And for example, peppers in the salsas or the hot sauces. We grow beans for dilly green beans, okra for pickled okra, and a lot of the ingredients that go into the chow chow we grow here. And whatever we don't have locally here that we grow, we'll obtain it from other farms in the area, and we try to keep it as local as possible. We're old style water bath. We don't do the pressure cooker. We do everything we do, we can meet the requirements through water bath canning, and so that's what we do. That's where you put the product in the jars first, and then cap it, and then you heat it. You put it in a boiling water bath for however minutes, depending on what recipe you're using. And then when you remove the jars, when they cool, they seal. And that's basically the whole water bath canning concept, is heat and cool. Oh, well, my wife is basically the kitchen manager, head person in charge of the kitchen operation, and she keeps all the books and the recipes and everything together. She has usually one lady helping her, and they work together to do the water bath canning and all the food prep and all that kind of thing. We really are hesitant to move away from our core value, which is keeping it all natural. It's all gluten-free because my wife is a celiac patient. She's been diagnosed years ago, so as far as gluten goes, she can't eat any wheat or get near any flour or anything like that, which has really been a good attribute for the canning operation to be gluten-free because it's healthier. Well, it's a labor of love, and people say, and I believe it's true, work on the farm is never done. There's a lot of labor that goes into this. It's very labor intensive. The canning operation is very labor intensive. It would be easier to offload it to a commercial operation and put our label on it, but we don't want to do that. We want to actually maintain control from beginning to end so that we know what's in the jars, we know what the product tastes like, and we know what we're doing. We feel good about knowing that we're behind a product, we're passionate about it, and we really mean what we're doing when we say it's healthier, it's better tasting, and we're basically preserving the same qualities and the same aspects of canning that our past relatives did, and a whole lot of people's predecessors were doing this and doing homemade canning. Mainly, I guess back in the day, it was more for survival, whereas now it becomes more desirable because it tastes better, it's healthier, you know, and what goes into it, you know, it's coming off the land, and people are being more receptive to that kind of thing.